tonight. It's Michigan State, it's Illinois. We're on the road in Champaign.
These Illinois kids would like nothing more than to come away with a win tonight.
Tips up and controlled by Michigan State with the ball. Winston. Backdoor lob to Bridges. Reverse layup is up and it's in.
Nice drive. Boy, a straight line drive by Jaron Jackson. Another backdoor. Bridges too far. How about that one?
Here comes a three-ball shot up and in by Mark Allstott. He's been in the shooting slump, but he looks good there in the line. I got their first lead of the game. And a backdoor lob to Miles Bridges for another slam.
Winston operating at the point on a blow-by against Lucas.
There you go. That's what you got to do.
Williams down the lane. Oh, what a block by Jackson on the floater.
The handle of these two.
Jackson! Oh, more than action!
How about that?
Tom breaks the basket. Oh, beautiful bounce pass to a cutting Miles Bridges for another slam.
JJ with a payday, a throwdown, solo style. Michigan State shoots 68%, the highest for them since 2004, highest ever for a visitor in this building.
Basketball is really like the first sport I've ever played, and that's the first sport that comes to mind, when I think back to my childhood. My mom, she played basketball in college for a while, and my dad, he was a professional handball player in Germany, so, sports really ran in our genes. I was always an active child, and, my parents put me in sports immediately, and I just fell in love with it.
What I remember most about Gavin is when he really started to getting so involved in sports. Gavin sat down at the table one day and he said, "Mom, I'm going to be a basketball player."
My very first memories of basketball came back when I was living in France, in a small town called Strasbourg, France, where I lived for the first 8 years of my life. And I remember we had this backyard, a pretty big backyard with a big garden, and we had like a little cement driveway kind of thing. And I just remember picking up a ball, and I had a little Fisher-Price hoop in the back. And I just used to always go up and just dunk on it. I would just try to tear it down every single time. And I remember, calling to my mom, be like, "Look, Mom, look at me, look at this." And every dunk, every rep, I would just be like, "Look," and I would just try to dunk it as hard as I could.
Spending his early years in France, Gavin grew up in a multilingual household where having conversations in 3 different languages was the norm. One conversation in particular would change his life.
We spoke German at home because at the time his dad he's German, so we speak German at home. And when Dad is gone, we speak English. And when he's with his friends, he speaks French. So that's how Gavin grew up. And one day Gavin said, "Mom," he says, "why do you have this accent when you're speaking French?" And I said, "Yeah, because I'm American." And that's when I said, okay, I have to go home and start visiting my family. Gavin had no idea that his mom was American. That was a culture shock for me to come back home, and for the children, because the first time ever being in America. Although we did visit the family during some of the summer months, but to live here was very different for Gavin.
Having everybody, around me speak English and not being used to hearing all different sounds of people speaking the same language as my mother did was kind of weird. And I didn't know how to read or write English, I just knew how to speak it. Actually doing English in school was kind of tough, an adjustment as well. It was hard, but after a while, I adjusted, I got used to it. I really just have to credit my mother, she's the one that raised me and my little brother up to be the men that we are today. She's been there through, the thick and thin of it all, and, I credit her for everything. Without her, I wouldn't be where I am today. I look back and, see how hard she worked and how hard it must have been for her, and I just have to give all credit to her.
As the time for high school approached, Gavin would venture out in search of new basketball opportunities.
My first high school year was in Chicago. Then I moved to Germany for my sophomore year. You know my dad, he's also German. He's from there and still lives there currently. And I was closer to him. You know, that one year I definitely got closer to him.
This was a great time for me because we spent a lot of time together. I could saw every game, every weekend, and we had a great time in this year. But it was sure from the beginning he will just spend 1 year in Germany.
And I came back to Chicago for my junior year, and that's when I played with Alvin Ellis, my former teammate here. And then my senior year, I moved out to Vegas and played out in Finley Prep.
When I look to the past, it was not an easy way for Gavin in his basketball career. It was not straight. It was with all ups and downs.
My life is always like centered around adjustment, you know, so I was able to adjust to different environments pretty quickly and adapt. And I think that's what made me into the man I am today, and I'm grateful for that. I wouldn't have it any other way. My official visit here, I was with the guys the whole time. I think we went to a dinner and movie with the whole team. And the guys were just making me feel comfortable, making me feel like I was home. And I stayed for a game, Northwestern at home. That was the game that I watched. I remember being in the locker room and just that whole camaraderie of the guys just coming together and pushing each other and you know, laughing with each other. It didn't feel like that at any other school, so that kind of made me pick Michigan State more over any other school. It's just that feeling I had inside of me, you know, from seeing all that and feeling that.
From my view as a parent, as a dad, I was very happy he was in the hands of Coach Iso and his team.
In my heart, I felt super comfortable. I sit on my guy, Coach Iso. He's just like me. He's like a normal guy, you know, and he's a family man, and he understands that. He made everything very clear.
When we got Gavin, it was later on in the year, and he came out of Finley Prep, and you know, Gavin was a guy that, you know, I'd gone to part of high school in Chicago, so we knew a little bit about him. He was kind of a later bloomer.
When Gavin signed with Michigan State, he became part of a team that spent time ranked as the #1 team in the nation before injuries derailed the season just short of the Final Four.
My freshman year, I just remember we had a great team that year. You know, we had a team capable, you know, to win it all. And I remember we had so much talent on that team. And I really learned a lot from the older guys on that team, really. And they really taught me, you know, what it took to play at Michigan State.
He looked like he was going to be one of the best rebounders we ever had. You know, had to get better offensively. And the sad part was doing all those things, and then injuries hit him for 2 years in a row.
That knee injury was, like they say, a blessing in disguise, because I think mentally Gavin grew up a lot. He grew up a lot, and that made him see himself from the other side.
I look at it as, you know, God had a plan for me, and everything happens for a reason. So, you know, now I look back, I don't want to say that I'm glad it happened to me, but I try to look at the positives in it. I got another year to get better, and a whole extra year. And, you know, to be where I am now is just a blessing, and I'm just grateful to be able to be playing basketball again and at such a high level. So, you know, I just really have to thank God for that.
What he accomplished this past year, coming back from that knee injury, and this is the part and time of the season when I think we're going to see some of Gavin Schilling's best days ahead of him.
I've really, you know, come to my own slowly. You know, I've adjusted again to, you know, how I was playing before the injury, and now I'm starting to feel more and more comfortable, you know, game by game, and hopefully I can just keep on improving, you know, from here on out. As far as basketball, what stands out to me the most is definitely my sophomore year. You know, when people looked at it as a rebuilding year, you know, as one of the least talented teams per se. And, you know, with that team, we managed to get all the way to a Final Four. You know, good team chemistry, great coaching, and hard work will, you know, get to where you want to get. And that's a prime example, you know, of that team I had my sophomore year. There's really nothing like it. Playing on such an elite stage in front of 60,000 people, it was amazing. Really like an indescribable feeling. A feeling I definitely want to experience, you know, again before, you know, my time's done here. Right now I'm just trying to, you know, do everything I can and try to, you know, instill in the younger guys what it takes, you know, to get to that level, because, you know, there's really nothing like it. And this team we have this year is just really loaded, really deep, and we're really pushing each other every single practice, and I'm definitely, you know, giving my all every single game, every single practice, doing whatever I can to help, you know, my teammates out, and still keeping, you know, my personal goals in mind. And I think that, you know, we're off to a great start so far this year, and hopefully we can keep it rolling and reach our ultimate goal.
Hey, welcome to my crib. My family's here. Hopefully y'all can get a good tour of what up, though?
So I got a fish, and his name is Eden. I don't know if you can see him right there. My guy right there. I'm eventually gonna put a turtle in there with him so we can have some company.
Got some games over here, some Monopoly, Uno. Don't nobody beat me in Uno, you know. He's coming here to kick it after games, after practice. All four of us, we just sit down here. Just talk about life, talk about everything, really. And I think 1855 is amazing, but all my classes are right around this area, and I live right across the street from the bread, so it's really convenient for us, especially when it gets really cold like it is right now. You don't have to walk that far to go to get to practice or to the Smith Center to do your homework.
You know, just to be able, if I want to go to the gym, it's not too far of a walk. It's kind of hard now because it's snowing, but I mean, it's like a 3-4 minute walk. It's easy. It's really a big upgrade for me. You know, last year I stayed at Wonders, so it's a big upgrade for me, Miles.
Well, now let me take y'all to my what all goes down from Tumchi, AKA I don't know. I like my room a lot, man. Show the collection of my shoes. Y'all come in here, show the collection of my shoes. I got a lot of shoes. These right here may be my favorite pair of shoes. All red 4s. I like my favorite pair of Jordans is 4s. Michigan State Air Force Ones are my favorite ones. Yeah, over here, where I do a lot of my reading. I read a lot of books, Understanding the Purpose and Power of a Woman by Dr. Miles Monroe, Kingdom Citizenship, Dr. Miles Monroe. I call this over here my little library. I read 3 books a month. Got a little TV right here. Watch TV on this. This is my bed. This is my room.
Calypso.
I got family pictures. My 2 sisters. My mom. My dad. Right here. I sleep with a basketball still. So yeah, every night I go to sleep with my basketball. I love shoes. Some blue 12s right here. I wear these sometimes, only on occasion. Yeezys. I try to hide these from Pruder. Here I got these all blue Tims. I've been wearing these ones lately, the original ones, but I bring these out like if I go out to eat or something. Nice little date. I play a lot of Madden. I got Madden 18. Inside the games, I think I got 2K in here. 2K18. Yep, 2K18. I play this all the time. We had a 2K tournament over here, and the guys, none of the guys beat me. I beat them all by 20. I listen to a variety of music. A lot of music on my phone. I got pop, hip hop, old school hip hop, old school music in general.
I said, girl, why you keep calling? I said, girl, why you keep calling? Yeah, she said I need a new one. Yeah,
it's kind of new. You guys, rolling with me to my room. First of all, I want to show y'all this. This is something that my grandma gave me. My mom's mom. It's a scripture. It's Joshua 1:9, my favorite scripture. So, go figure. It's Joshua in the book. So, this is my spot. This is my spot. With me being like far from home, I kind of get homesick, and so two of my friends and my sister, they actually made this picture. This bunch of pictures for me and framed them. That's when I committed to Michigan State. That's when I went to Steph Curry camp, man. And I like hats, as you can see. I wear a lot of hats. Sometimes Coach Is, he asks me like, how many hats do I have? So now Coach Is, now you know. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. The Mitchell and this, I like the way it kind of fits. Tom has been giving me book assignments, books to read. We kind of like to read books. And so this is the most recent book that he gave me. It's by Miles Monroe. I remember when these was a hot commodity. Back when I was in high school, I got these early, kind of before a lot of other people. Got the Penny Hardaways, the Foamposites. You like these? Yeah. Yeah, these are the Galaxies. I actually had these since 8th grade, since middle school. I got to play on Penny Hardaway's team. He was my coach in middle school.
It's Calypso, my little baby girl. I had her for a little while now. Sometimes she's mean to people, so she's not really. Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Say hi. What's up? Ah, she's scared. Oh, that's okay. She's tired now because she's getting brushed, but before she's not really fond of people. She gotta get used to people.
We come in here and chill every single day after practice, after a game, especially a home game. It's important because, you play basketball together, you spend so much time together, you live together. It's just important because, our relationship and Michigan State is just more than a basketball program. It's a real legit family, and you get to spend time with each other and learn about each other every day, and also just talk about like things that's going on in the world and things that are really close to your heart.
We get away, talk about everything, talk about practices, talk about games. It's very important for us to have some chill time, because if you didn't have chill time, you'd go crazy. Especially with the people that you love too. I mean, these are guys that I'll have friendships with forever, and I'm just happy to be in the same house as them.
When you make a college decision, you're making not just a 4-year decision, you're making a 40-year decision, and because that decision is something that's going to affect the rest of your life. And so I feel like, what Mom said, with us being, close brothers, you don't want to get that in college. And I feel like you said, that's part of the reason why you came back, because, just the camaraderie that we have and, how close we are as brothers. It's just amazing, bro. And I feel like, these two guys and the rest of my teammates, somebody that are people that I always, will stay in contact with. And, these guys going to be in my wedding.
I'm going to be the pastor.
Oh, yeah, he going to be the pastor. He going to marry me.
I'm going to marry all of them.
Yeah, so.
All right, everybody, we just want to thank you all for stopping by and taking a look at our crib. It's a $5.2 million home. I appreciate it, and it's time for y'all to go. We got to get ready for a game. Get out! Get out!
Welcome to East Lansing, Michigan, with the Breslin Center. It's Big Ten action, and it's a big game. It's Michigan State, it is Wisconsin. As MSU now has 2 games in 3 days. Tips up and controlled by, believe it or not, Wisconsin.
Don't see that a lot.
No. Fritzl from the top of the key drains a tray, so it's 3-0 Wisconsin.
Bridges on the wing. A quick counter from downtown.
Here comes the spin move. What a block by Jackson. That ties the record. That is number 72. Rebound Ward. He tries to go back up. He's in all kinds of traffic, and somehow gets it off the glass and in. Towards way out. They got him double loose ball. With the ball, Miles has got to fire.
Hello, how do you do? Sometimes the bridge is too far.
Outlet pass, and down it goes to Langford. Langford, a reverse on the baseline, good!
And the lead extends to 18. That's just too much size and strength.
Passes on the three, back to Winston. He'll try the three. He got it! 3 in a row!
How about that for Cassius Winston?
Jacksonville. Wow. That was a tomahawk slam.
Final from East Lansing. Michigan State 76, Wisconsin 61.
Yes, 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 I am the pom-pom mom.